Planet Zoo has been rated E10 Plus by the MSRB for crude humor, mild blood, and mild violence. It has been approved for all persons ages 10 and over. This video is brought to you in part by The Night Sheriff by Phil Foglio. Bartholomew Zenon's Zenonland is protected by the Night Sheriff. Day and night, he's burdened by a witch's curse to be aware of all that live and play within the massive fantasy theme park. Now an attack on the park by a monster hunter who knows far too much threatens everything: the guests, the staff, and the supernaturals who take refuge in the park. The Night Sheriff must scramble to uncover not only the source of the threat, but the secrets of the park of which even he was not aware. If he doesn't, he may be doomed. The park may be doomed. And even the world may be doomed. And that's a lot of doom. Go to Amazon.com for your copy today. Hey kids, this is Jack. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Planet Zoo and the Prairie Haven Zoo. So I know that at the end of the last episode, I told you something, I think I said I was I was looking at capybaras for the next habitat. But I made a realization, and it was a sudden realization, and that realization was I've got no bears in this zoo. And it doesn't really feel like a zoo without a bear. So I looked at what I've got stored, and I have both Formosan black bears and Himalayan brown bears stored up. And I basically flipped a coin and decided, you know what, we're going to do Himalayan brown bears. So this is a habitat for the Himalayan brown bear. What I wanted to do was basically a terraced habitat that had a moat at the front of it. Now the brown bear is not a swimming bear. It's not like the grizzly. It won't jump in the water or anything. So it would be an effective way to leave things pretty open. I mean, I put a couple of fences at the front, but for the most part, it's pretty open where the guests are staring, so they don't have to look through cage walls or anything like that. What I started with was I went ahead and dug out the terrain tiers, and then I built a nice habitat for them. A nice habitat, listen to me. A nice shelter for them. And then I started working on everything else, custom walls, things like that. Now, you will notice at some point in this build that there's this big, jarring jump cut, and after the jump cut, it's obvious that a lot of the build wasn't recorded, and I have to apologize about that. In the middle of this, in the middle of this build, my internet went down. And I turned it off, and when I turned it off, I figured I can't play franchise unless I've got an internet connection, because that's the way franchise works. So I turned the game off, and I walked away, and I did other things, and it took a couple of hours for my internet to come back on. And when the internet came back on, I was like, great, I can work on the zoo again. So I started working on the zoo, and I was working on it for like 10 minutes before I realized I hadn't turned the recording software back on. So I want to apologize. You're not going to be able to see the entire build, and that's on me. That's my fault. I apologize. But it did come out looking really, really cool anyway, so I hope you enjoy what you do see. Let me know, and I will talk to you in a little bit. I'm going to let you have the time lapse now, and I'll talk to you at the end of the build. So this is the finished habitat, and I got to tell you, I am proud of this one. This one came out looking great. This is exactly what I wanted. It's, you know, gives enough space for the bears. It gives some great sight lines for the guests. We do have a, that's sad. We have an educator making a talk and there's nobody there listening. That is very sad. It really is. Anyway, yeah, you know, and I'm sorry about the technical difficulties that we had while we were putting this together, but, you know, this just looks fantastic. It's a good habitat. It's a successful habitat. You know, I can think of a couple of things that I might have done differently, but not, you know, they aren't better enough to have done them, if you know what I mean. So anyway, guys, if you liked what you saw here, if you liked this habitat, please hit that like button. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. I can't wait to hear from you. Subscribe if you haven't already, please. I can always use more subscribers, just like everybody else on YouTube. Take care of yourself, guys. What will I be doing in the next episode? Well, glad you asked. I'm thinking kangaroos, and I'm thinking right in here. So I look forward to it. I hope you're looking forward to it. We will see each other in the next video, guys. Take care, and bye-bye.